Framed underneath the snowy caps of the Chugach Mountains and Pioneer Peak in Palmer, Alaska, it's opening day for the Matsu Miners.
It's a day of firsts for the Matsu Miners.
It's deja vu all over again from Herman Brothers Field in Palmer, Alaska.
The Miners begin the official second half of the season.
Let's get ready for some midweek mayhem in the Matsu Valley.
It is good to be back in Palmer, Alaska.
Can it get any better than that for Matsu? The rally outside of the valley makes it an 8-5 game.
And the Miners have a wire-to-wire win here at Herman Brothers.
Vergara on his horse looking over his shoulder in right center.
He dies! Yes, he did! Here comes Vest. He rounds third base. The throw home, not in time. Cooper Vest scores the go-ahead run.
Richardson deals. Oh, yes! Front door curveball. The K-Man strikes again.
A 2-run shot for Steven Lancia. Welcome back to Palmer, Alaska.
And that ball is gone! Emilio Barreras, if you didn't know him, now you do.
The comeback kids stun the Glacier Pilots.
Matsu, from the bottom of the valley, is atop the mountain. It seems every time the Miners play the Glacier Pilots at Mulcahy Stadium, the sun is out bright and beaming, hence the sunglasses. The sunlight is streaming through the windows of the cramped press box at Mulcahy Stadium. With Austin Barach, I'm Jesse Cook. The Miners are on the road at the Glacier Pilots, the first place team taking on the second place team. And the last time that this matchup occurred with the Miners in first and the Glacier Pilots in second, Anchorage won. That was over a month ago. These teams haven't met since the month of June. That was on June 29th. Today it's July 18th. So it's a couple of long lost faces for these two. Now the last 3 times that the M's have played the Glacier Pilots, it was as my shirt might suggest. Rally time for Matsu. All 3 of those games entailed a 3+ run comeback for the Miners.
That's right, Jesse. When these two teams square off, folks, do not shut it off after the 6th inning, after the 7th inning. You got to watch the full 9 innings when these two teams square off. And yeah, it seems like it's been forever since the Miners and Glacier Pilots last met, but still, they're the top 2 teams in the ABL, and the winner of this game reclaims first place.
Well, Matsu has held first for almost a week, ever since last Wednesday. Today's Tuesday. Matsu is also bringing back its everyday shortstop. Emilio Barreras missed a few games with a lower back injury, but the team's leader in RBIs is back in the lineup.
That's right, Jesse. 18 ribbies for the shortstop out of Grand Canyon. This guy injects so much life into the bottom of the order. I mean, what a luxury for Tyler Brunn to have a 270, 280 batter there in the 8th spot almost every day. He's been out for a week with that back injury, but he's back. He's ready to go. He's been taking swings all week. And defensively, he'll be a great stalwart there as well. Really exciting to see what he can do today.
Now, Brandon Downer making his first start against a team not named the Peninsula Oilers. First time he's pitching on the road here at Mulcahy Stadium for Matsu. What can we expect from the righty out of Cal Baptist?
This guy floods the strike zone. Now, the strikeout numbers might not be too impressive. Just 2 for him in 2 starts to 6 walks. But don't let that fool you. Only 2 earned runs on this season. This guy gets things done. He produces, he earns outs. Nothing leaves the yard against him, and it'll be tough for him today against a very dangerous lineup in the Glacier Pilots with many, many guys batting at least 300.
That's right. The Glacier Pilots boast a strong lineup, and Downer sort of has some big shoes to fill after the Miners win yesterday. It was a doubleheader with the Oilers. And across those 2 games, guess how many runs the Miners allowed?
0.
Oh, he got it! 0. Let's take a look and listen back to that thrilling affair between the Miners and the Oilers. For the first time in almost a week, baseball is back at Herman Brothers Field. It's the first place Miners and the fourth place Oilers. This is the 3rd time these two are squaring off for a doubleheader. The Oilers are led by their center fielder, the number 3 hitter in the league, Nick Costello, with a .413 average. There's his counterpart in Matsu's catcher, Steven Lancia. He's second in the ABL with a .421 batting average. Another Matsu Miner hitter who has been red hot is Cooper Vest. The first baseman has reached base safely in 19 15 straight games. Matsu has really relied on him. The bats are bumping here in Palmer, Alaska, not to mention the fact that the burgers are hot. With Austin Barach, I'm Jesse Cook. And I guess the first place Miners and the fourth place Oilers aren't allowed to play normal games. Christo, the big righty, he's sent 21 batters away with a strikeout. The 3-2, high and away, strike three. Christo with his fourth K of the afternoon, his third in that second inning.
The pitch stings the inside corner. Elfrick got caught looking at a fastball. That is Christo's fifth punch-out of the afternoon. Through 4 innings, it's still scoreless at Herman Brothers Field.
1-2. Christo deals. Swing and a miss. He's unhittable. Christo has allowed just 2 hits in 5 innings of work, and if you're counting up the strikeouts, that's his 6th. The payoff. Curveball low and away, called strike 3. 10 Ks for Drew Christo. And for the first time all year, Matsu will see extra innings, even though it's just the 8th. And if you like horse racing, this is a play for you. Every runner will be off with the pitch. There's 2 away, a full count. Every runner is forced. The game is on the line. 0-0 in extra innings. Rizzo. The payoff. Swing and a miss! How about clutch? Will Rizzo, with the game on the line, comes through and gives the Miners another opportunity at the bats. Well, a pitcher's duel to the tee, a 0-0 finish, and by the extra innings peculiar rules in the Alaska Baseball League handbook, the Oilers have won Game 1 of this 7-inning doubleheader.
After a very weird Game 1 of this doubleheader, the Matsu Miners are in first place by just half a game as we stand right now. Alongside Jesse Cook, I'm Austin Barach, and the pitch is roped but stabbed by the second baseman. Throw back on the first, got him on the double play. Groupie with the backhand snag threw on to first base on the run, and Nolan Tucker was just barely off the bag enough. It's a 4-3 double play, 2 gone in the bottom of the first. The pitch, clobbered, left center field. The outfielders look back, Costello looks up, and it's over the fence. Alex Vergara smashes his 3rd home run of the year, this time off of Ryan Palmer in Palmer, Alaska. It's a 1-0 game in the bottom of the first.
The 1-1. He swings, cuts it to third. Caleb Hannes again makes the catch on a line drive. That's the 3rd time today in this doubleheader that the Matsu third baseman has cut down a frozen rope that was bound for left field.
Palmer's 1-0. Fastball cranked into center field. That's a gapper. Tucker is being waved home. The cutoff throw won't go home. It goes to third base. Cooper Vest has himself an RBI triple, and he's fired up. It's a 2-0 game. And with a runner 90 feet away in a 2-0 game, here's Alex Vergara. He slices one up the middle. Vest walks in from third base. Vergara has himself an RBI single. He's got 2 ribbies on the afternoon. It's a 3-0 game. Forshea began the day 4th in the ABL in batting average. The pitch, roped to second base again. Tucker goes to a knee. throws on a first base, and that's...
His team has won 4 of its last 5. Emilio Barreras, another smiling face for Matsu. He's back in the lineup after a week out with a lower back injury. He's the team's leader in RBIs, so that's a big piece to add to the starting rotation again. Matsu is in first place. The Glacier Pilots are in second. It's a battle for the top spot in the ABL between two teams who haven't seen each other since June. With Austin Barach, I'm Jesse Cook. And those are some Matsu infielders practicing some hand-eye coordination drills. Caleb Hannas, and that's Nolan Tucker. Well, the Matsu starter, Brandon Downer, has been pretty well coordinated this season. His last time out, he was just as good as they come. He went 5 innings against the Oilers and only allowed 2 runs on 3 hits. Austin, let's get to the lineups, but before that, what can you tell me about Brandon Downer?
Brandon Downer out of Cal Baptist, a rising junior there at 6'5", 215. This guy's been nothing short of phenomenal for this team and what the starting staff has had to do. 2.25 ERA through 8 innings of work, 2 games played, both of those against the Oilers. His first start against a non-Oilers team. He's in line to throw strikes yet again at a high clip.
That's right, he's the starting pitcher for Matsu, and here's your opening lineups. Second base for Matsu, Nolan Tucker. First base, Cooper Vest. Batting third, Alex Vergara. He hit a grand slam last week against the Bucks. Steven Lancia batting fourth and playing catcher. He's second in the league in batting average. He has been elite for the minors this season. After joining the team midway through, he's batting at a .397 clip. Then it's Caden Carpenter, the right fielder, followed by designated hitter Braden Rogers. Sebastian Tomerlin is back in center field. He only played half the doubleheader yesterday, although he did come in as a pinch runner late in game 1. And Emilio Barreras, we just talked about him. He's back in the lineup, playing shortstop. He's got 18 RBIs on the season, best on the roster. This season, he's batting at a .278 mark, reaching base at a .350 clip. And then Caleb Hannas rounding out the order, batting ninth and playing third. For the Glacier Pilots, Elijah Rodriguez is at the top of the order, followed by Will Bermudez. And he's been a minors killer this season since joining his team. Bermudez has a .375 batting average against Matsu alone. Blake Jackson is batting third. The center fielder is the top league at a staggering .457 rate. Troy Harding is catching. Andrew Lamb is at the DH spot. Nathan Barraza is batting sixth. Jacob Stinson is in left. Andrew Nikolic, he's batting eighth. And at third, and Joey Wright is the shortstop. Pitching for Anchorage is Aaron Cenaceros. He enters this game with a .275 earned run average across 32 2/3 innings pitched. This will be his 9th appearance of the season, his 8th start. He struck out 28 batters in that time. That's one of the best marks in the league. So a strong set of lineups into this Tuesday evening affair. Before we break for the anthem, Austin, what's your key to the game?
I mean, it's with the bats, okay? Because we know that the Anchorage Glacier Pilots have a lot of strong bats, a lot of guys batting above that 300 line, the best batting average in the league. But for the minors, they've been hot recently, but not yesterday. But as we talked to Tyler Brown after the game, he said, it's just tough adjusting to live pitching when you've been off for 3 straight days. So I expect the bats to get back in line for Matsu, and it'll be another high-scoring affair today.
Well, Matsu struggled yesterday, that's right, but the pitching staff was just about as good as you could ask them to be. 0 runs allowed across 2 whole games. We're going to break to the national anthem, but stay with us. Matsu Miners Baseball follows up in just a moment from Anchorage. We're back and ready for it here in Anchorage with Austin Barach. I'm Jesse Cook. We're ahead of the top of the first inning. Matsu at the bats. Nolan Tucker, Cooper Vest, Alex Vergara due up against Aaron Cenaceros. And Cenaceros with his Glacier Pilots are wearing white pants with a blue single stripe up the side, gray camo jerseys with white lettering tailed with a blue outline, and their blue hats with the all-white Glacier Pilots logo. Matsu is wearing green jerseys with gold script lettering across the chest and a white outline, gold letters on the back, gold numbers rather on the back with that same white outline, and gray pants as well as a green stripe up the side. Matsu also wearing their gold caps with a green brim. Cenaceros is pitching against the Miners for the second time this season. He dealt against them all the way back on June 10th, and that game was subject to some controversy because in the middle of it, they had to pause and postpone the rest of the game due to unsafe field conditions at Mulcahy Stadium. Brady Maylett was pitching for Matsu. The lefty noticed a problem with the mound, and that's where all the trouble started. They had to pause the game after that because it was not a safe pitching surface. And in that game, Cenaceros threw 4 shutout innings. He allowed 4 hits, walked 3, struck out 4. He faced 18 batters, so he went through the Matsu lineup twice and didn't allow anyone to make it further than second base. Comes from Orange, California. He's a rising sophomore at Cal State Fullerton, stands all of 6 feet tall, weighs 190 pounds. Tucker, on the other hand, is a rising junior at Valparaiso, and he's 170 pounds, 9. This past season for Valparaiso, Tucker had 5 games with more than 3 hits, including a 4-hit, 4 RBI game at UT Martin. That was all the way back in February. Had no games with more than 1 home run, and he has yet to strike one this season. He's been in the leadoff spot for Matsu ever since the trip to the Kenai Peninsula to begin the month of July. So now we're on July 18th. Austin, what would be your progress report on Nolan Tucker in the leadoff role?
Nolan Tucker, I'd say, is a leadoff man, B+. You'd like to see more hits, but he usually finds a way to get on base at least once per game. As a fielder, though, terrific there at second base. A surefire second baseman there in the field.
Hits have been a problem for this team as a whole, but it's really boosted up over the last few weeks. At the end of June, Matsu was batting .208 as a team. Now they're all the way up to .246. Nolan Tucker batting .214 on the season. That's a 12 for 56 line. He's got 6 RBIs, 11 runs scored as well. No home runs. Cenaceros and Tucker. Righty on the hill, lefty at the dish. Tucker with his all-black batting gloves and white cleats with the black Nike swoosh. Wearing the dark green Miners helmet with his number 3 on the back. Cenaceros into the windup. We're underway. That's a ball low and outside. .275 earned run average this season. The righty is 3-0 on the year, this being his 8th start and 9th appearance. The 1-0 to Tucker. At the fastball at the belt for strike 1. Cenaceros has been the author of 28 strikeouts this season, 17 walks allowed. That's a pretty good strikeout to walk ratio. 1-1 to Tucker. This is low and away outside. So it means he's striking out about 1.5 batters per walk.
Definitely very good as a starting pitcher. That's pretty much all you can ask for.
2-1 count. Cenaceros comes set. He deals. Tucker swings, lifts it foul, left side, popping over into the stands and out of play. It's 2-2 count. Cenaceros, like we said, he's a native to Orange, California, and he models his style of play after his brother Alec, who played Division II baseball at Cal State San Bernardino. He's got a long windup, but he keeps it very short and compact when heading towards home. The 2-2. Tucker swings and fouls off another one.
So here's the thing about Tucker, and honestly with the other Valpo guys, Thurston, who's not in the lineup today, and also Caleb Hannes, they are pretty good batters against 2 strikes, just fouling off pitches.
That's right, we've seen Tucker entail an 11-pitch at-bat with 5 foul balls. The 2-2. He swings and fouls off another one, sending it to the backstop. Count remains 2-2. And this is what you want to see if you're Matsu. Battling to start the game, extend that starting pitcher. It's how Matsu started the game yesterday, with Tucker and Vest combining for 2 at-bats that lasted a whole 14 pitches. 2-2. Sanaceros now from the stretch. He swings, cracks it to second base, fielded on the hop. Bermudez has it and fires on to first. Got him by a step and a half. So, despite the lengthy at-bat, Tucker is sent back to the dugout. 1 up, 1 down, bases empty for Matsu here in the top of the first. 0-0 still to score. Cooper Vest comes up to the bat. Another lefty for Matsu. He hails from Brigham Young University. Vest stands 6 feet tall, 190. He's a rising junior, and he's a Utah native as well. Righty-lefty matchup. Sanaceros from the windup. Sways and deals. Just missed blown away. Two-seamer danced out of the zone. Vest this season is batting at a .254 mark. Sanaceros readies, glove at his eyes. Now he drops and deals. The 1-0. A fastball low and away, called a strike. Vest, despite his .254 batting average, has a .320 on-base percentage, which is surprising considering he didn't record a walk or hit by pitch until the last week of June, starting, of course, this season with opening day on June 5th. The 1-1. He swings and fouls it over the backstop. 1-2 count. Vest has had a strikeout problem. He's been retired 18 times by way of the K this year. 6 of those Ks have come against these Glacier Pilots. That in 25 plate appearances, 23 at-bats. Sanaceros takes a deep breath. He fires. The 1-2 bounces about a foot in front of the plate. Of the season, and it was so early. 2-2. Swings, lifts at first base side, hopper off the ground, fielded at first base. Barach picked it and scrambles onto first for the out. 2 away in the top of the first inning. That brings up Alex Vergara. The Matsu left fielder has turned on the fireworks over the past week, both with the bat and in the field. Austin, he's made 3 diving grabs in the outfield over the last week.
Alex Vergara is a special talent. He made that diving catch yesterday and left with scouts in attendance. This guy is the real deal, both in the field and at the dish.
That's right. Righty-righty matchup. Vergara hit a grand slam last week against the Bucks at home at Herman Brothers Field. First pitch to the righty. He swings and lifts it to shallow right field. Rodriguez chasing in down the foul line. Barraza calls everyone off. He's in foul ground and makes a backtracking grab above his head. So Vergara retired on a pop-out. He was excited about those scouts from the Texas Rangers and Cincinnati Reds. And while he popped off yesterday, not exactly the tail in his first at-bat today. Vergara went 2 for 3 in that second game with a pair of RBIs. But now we'll head to the defense. Anchorage coming up to the bat with the top of its order here in Anchorage, 0-0.
Also located stadium is announced.
Anchorage is home to Alaska's most populous population. However, the crowd at Mulcahy Stadium is wallowing below 300 here in the bottom of the first inning. Matsu and Anchorage tied up 0-0. Jesse Cook with you alongside Austin Barach. Brendan Downer on the hill for the Miners. The big righty out of Cal Baptist is making his first start against these Glacier Pilots. It's also his second start of the season. His third start of the season, fourth if you include his exhibition contest with the Michigan Monarchs. Last time out, he pitched against the Oilers at home on July 9th, went 5 innings, 2 runs. Now he's got the top of the order to lead off this game, and Elijah Rodriguez, righty-lefty matchup, the pitch. Fastball, high and away, called a strike. Rodriguez comes from McLennan Community College. Here's the 0-1. He swings behind the fastball at the knees. 0-2 count. Rodriguez, a native to Waco, Texas, stands 5'9", weighs 173 pounds. 0-2. Fastball misses up high.
It's such a specific weight. I wonder if somebody specifically weighed him.
Well, you know, Mr. Rogers said he kept his weight at 143 for a specific reason.
Oh.
The 1-2. Rodriguez waits on the fastball low and away. Called strike 3. Brandon Downer is off to a positive start with a backwards K on 4 pitches. That brings up the 2-hitter in Will Bermudez. And Mr. Rogers, the children's show host, kept his weight at 143 pounds because that's each number is how you spell I love you. So it's a really touching thing for Mr. Rogers and his neighborhood. Here's Bermudez.
That's something else.
First pitch to the lefty. He swings and fouls it to the right side. 1, I, 4, love, 3, you. Really makes Mr. Rogers such a great character. Matsu playing one of its Mr. Rogers combo, and Braden Rogers at the DH. Pitch. He swings, drives it to center field. Sebastian Tomerlin barely has to move. Saunters over to his right, looks up and makes the grab right above his green brim. 2 up, 2 down on just 6 pitches. Brendan Downer going low, and now it's Blake Jackson, the top hitter in the ABL. He's got a batting average not just above 400, but above 450. A average for Blake Jackson this year. He bats from the left side. Downer fires. He swings and nubs it to the backstop. Jackson is a D1 player out of the University of Charlotte. He's a rising sophomore. 6 feet tall, weighs 190 pounds, just like his pitcher, Aaron Seniceros. Downer's 0-1 on the way. Swings, dribbles it to short. Barreras fields it on the hop, throws on to first, and he got him. Welcome back, Emilio Barreras. More than a week on the injured list, and he's back in stride. Matsu retires aside 1-2-3. We head to the top of the second inning with the heart of the Miners order up in Lancia Carpenter Rogers. 0-0. We'll be back. It's the top of the second inning at Mulcahy Stadium in Anchorage with Austin Barach. I'm Jesse Cook. These teams are tied up 0-0 in a battle for first place. Matsu sits a game ahead of the Glacier Pilots in the standings, so this is a game with heavy playoff implications, but these teams have only played 6 times out of the 10 scheduled meetings, so after this game there's another 3 meetings, and they all come in the last week. Such a jam-packed schedule. Matsu's got the heart of the order due up to face Aaron Seniceros. It's Steven Lancia leading off, Caden Carpenter after him, and Braden Rogers, a designated hitter in the 3 spot. Your 4, 5, 6 hitters. Righty-righty matchup. Lancia at the plate. He's second in the league in batting average, a .397 clip. First pitch. The catcher waits on a fastball at the knees, called a strike. And Lancia has been such a fire starter in this lineup. He was all ABL last season, and in his first start, over a month ago now, he hit a home run.
And he caught all 15 innings yesterday, and he's set for all 9 today as well.
0-1. Swings ahead of the changeup, called a strike. That's right. That's a tough job being catcher for a doubleheader, and he did it. As much as the credit goes to the pitching staff for going shutout for those 15 innings, Lancia deserves some as well for being the signal caller. Sanaceros comes set from the windup, the 0-2. Swings and misses. A 3-pitch strikeout to start off this top of the second inning. Aaron Sanaceros looking good. That brings up Caden Carpenter, the big lefty out of Utah. He stands all of 6'4", weighing 230 pounds, and it's all muscle. None of it lost in the hair department either. He shaves his head.
Yes, he does.
Sanaceros readies. First pitch on the way. Swings and foul tips it to the backstop. Carpenter bats at a .261 line this season. He leads the league in walks with 26 bases on balls. He's also recorded 20 runs. That's the most on the minors roster. His on-base percentage rides all the way up to .445. 0-1 pitch. Swings, nails it to the backstop again, foul. And Carpenter, yesterday during warm-ups, during batting practice, was trying out something new. He wore teammate Maddox Haley's San Diego State batting gloves. Said he liked the look, he liked the fit, but he went back to his normal ones during the game, and he's wearing his gray and red gloves during this game as well. The Utah colors. The 0-2. Misses inside, immaculate inning, no more. 1-2 count. He had 5 strikes and 5 pitches. It's something about which you can think. Maybe not anticipate, but we haven't seen one yet.
I'm going to bet we don't see one.
There's a lot we haven't seen. No walk-offs yet this year. 1-2 to Carpenter. Fastball in the turf for a ball.
Well, technically, didn't we see a walk-off in Game 1 yesterday? A walk-off defensive stand?
Well, we see that every game.
In a 0-0 game?
Okay, that is the first. Yesterday's game, yes. The first leg of the doubleheader was a 0-0 affair due to the ABL extra innings rules. 2-2 to Carpenter. He swings, drills it down the first base line, but foul. Right under first base coach and pitching coach Steve Hecker's legs. So Carpenter stays alive. That's right, Matsu split a doubleheader with the Oilers yesterday, shutting out the entire day. The first game ended 0-0 because after an extra inning, the acting home team decides whether or not to play offense or defense for a sudden death half inning. The Oilers played defense and didn't allow the Miners to score, so they won. 2-2. Swing and a miss. Sanaceros with back-to-back strikeouts, his only 2 strikeouts of the game. That brings up Braden Rogers, a designated hitter, and he quietly went 3 for 6 across the doubleheader yesterday. One of the best performances that we've seen from a Miners hitter this season.
Yeah, 3 for 6, you're right. It was a quiet 3 for 6, upped his average against the Oilers to above 400.
Well, here he is against the Glacier Pilots. Righty-righty matchup. First pitch. He watches a fastball in on the hands for a ball. Rogers this season is batting at a .239 pace. Against the Glacier Pilots, he's appeared in 4 games, now 5. He's recorded 2 hits and 11 at-bats. 1-0. Check swing behind the changeup, called a strike, blown away. Rogers has been all over the place defensively this season. He played left field yesterday. We've seen him fill in at catcher, which he did on Thursday against the Chinooks for 2 innings. He's even 1-2. Swing and a miss. Aaron Sanaceros strikes out the side. Each batter in the heart of the Matsu order, all of them by way of the forward-facing K.
Are we in for another pitcher's duel? Matsu goes back to the field, and Miners have not allowed a run in 19 innings. 0-0 remains the score as we move on to the bottom of the second. We're back in Anchorage, Alaska with Austin Barach. I'm Jesse Cook. The score stands at 0-0 exactly as this game started. Matsu in the field, Glacier Pilots at the dish. Brandon Downer on the hill. He retired to side 1-2-3 to the leadoff order. Troy Harding, the fourth spot, and the catcher is up to lead off this frame. First pitch to the righty. He swings, drives it up the middle for the game's first hit. A single to straightaway center, and Harding is aboard. He took a wide turn around first, but quickly retreats. So Brandon Downer is forcing contact early in the count. He only threw 8 pitches to those 3 batters last inning. Troy Harding fires the first one he sees to center field. That brings up the designated hitter, Andrew Lamb. Righty-lefty matchup. Lamb is batting .286 on the year. First pitch, he swings, cracks it to second, Tucker fields it, dishes to the back for one, Barrera throws on to first, and he got him. A very quick double play for Matsu, and after Troy Harding had a first pitch single, a second pitch double play.
Matsu has been very, good opportunist, and it's really ramped up in the last 3 weeks as well.
That's right. Here's Nathan Barraza, the first baseman for these Glacier Pilots, bats from the right side. The pitch. He watches a strike on the inner half. Barraza has slugged the ball this year. He hits at a .324 clip, 19 RBIs. The 0-1 swings, dishes it to short. Barreras fields it on the shallow outfield grass, lobs it high to first. Vest fields it, tags Barraza on the way down, but he was late. Barraza made it to first by a half step. Vest tried to argue his case to the umpire, but quickly nodded in agreement after an explanation. So after 4 pitches, we've had 2 hits, a double play, and now the Glacier Pilots have a runner on first for Jacob Stinson. The left fielder bats from the left side, and he's hit the ball at a .326 clip this year, 12 RBIs in just 13 games played. He's got a runner on first. The pitch. Fastball high and away for a strike. Barraza, hanging off of first, is 4 for 4 on stolen base attempts this season. Takes a 3-step lead off the bag. Downer readies. Deals. In the turf, Lancia dropped to both knees to stop the ball. Barraza has not tried a stolen base attempt against the Miners. Stinson against Matsu is hitless, 0 for 6 across 2 games played. Downer deals. The 1-1 is swung on and hit foul off to the left side. It's a 1-2 count to the UC Irvine Rising Senior. He was a Mountain West champion in 2021. That was with Nevada. 1-2 count, 2 away. The pitch from the stretch misses high and outside. Those regional champions are harder to win than you'd think. Drew Christo, the Matsu Miners starter yesterday, was telling us about how much fun it was playing his Big Ten regional at home instead of being on the road. 2-2. swung on off his front foot, and Stinson immediately in some pain. He stamped his right leg on the ground, trying to walk it off. That's a foul ball, but he had to saunter around the plate to regain his bearings, but he's quickly back at the batter's box. He's not wearing a visible shin guard.
Just toughing it out, old school.
Well, he walked it off, and he seems to be all right. That's not his plant leg, his back foot. That would make it more difficult. 2-2 pitch. Swings and misses. Brandon Downer dealt him a fastball low and away outside of the zone and completely fooled him. That's his second strikeout with 2 hits on the day. We move on to the third inning. Still 0-0. Matsu's got its 7, 8, 9 hitters due up. It's been a pitcher's duel through 2 innings, just 2 hits between these squads, and both of them came from the Glacier Pilots. Matsu is up at the bat in need of some base runners. They've been 6 up, 6 down, and it's up to the 7, 8, 9 hitters to break through. In Sebastian Tomerlin, Emilio Barreras, and Caleb Hannes. Aaron Sanaceros struck out 3 last inning. The big righty is back on the hill. With another big righty, Austin Barach, I'm Jesse Cook. Austin, you're 6'6". Sebastian Tomerlin is, well, not quite. Sanaceros is 6 feet tall. He's into the windup to the lefty center fielder. Pitch. Swings and lifts it foul off to the left side. Tomerlin is also 6 feet. He's 170 pounds. A native to Mesa, Arizona, and part of that Central Arizona Community College trio with Braden Rogers, who ended the last inning with a strikeout, and pitcher Mario Bejarano. 0-1 pitch to Tomerlin. He swings, ropes into shallow right field, and just over Barraza's reaching glove. A base hit for Tomerlin. He took a wide turnaround first, but quickly stammers his feet to stop himself. Sebastian Tomerlin has the minors' first hit of the day. He was the #1 player in Arizona in high school, as ranked by Perfect Game for his prowess as a pitcher and a hitter, and he shows it off there. 1 man on to lead off the top of the third for Matsu, and that brings up Emilio Barreras. He hasn't played in a while. Barreras last took cuts on Tuesday, July 11th, a week ago. He was out with a lower back injury the past few days. Righty-lefty matchup. First pitch. Squares to bunt, but pulls back. Fastball high and away, called a strike.
And this past week, he was taking swings, but he was actively trying to not work that back in those swings. A lot of upper body movement only when he would take swings.
He's got 2 home runs this season, so he knows how to swing the bat well. Throw over to first. Tomerlin is backing safely. He knows how to swing the bat well while generating power from his legs, and that's a change for him. He has no collegiate home runs besides these 2 here in the Alaska Baseball League, so it's a very big change for him from high school. Also the wood bat compared to the metal bat he's grown up with. 0-1. Checks a swing on a fastball high and inside. That's called a strike. Looked like it was over the white chalk on the inside part of the left-handed batter's box. Barrera shook his head at his dugout, laughed it off. But it's an 0-2 count. Nobody out. 0-0 the score in the top of the third. Runner on first in Sebastian Tomerlin. Sanaceros readies. Looks at first. From the stretch, Barrera swings and laces it into shallow left field. That's a base hit. Welcome back to the lineup. Emilio Barreras, 1 for 1 since returning from injury, and the Miners have runners on first and second for the 9-hitter Caleb Hannes with nobody out.
And Jesse, it was just 5 minutes ago. Here's Cenaceros, 6 up, 6 down, and it's the bottom of the order. He gets to face, 7-hitter Tomerlin, single to right. Barreras, the 8-hitter, as we mentioned in the open, very, very good in that 8 spots, slices one to left field. And here we go, the Miners are in business.
Caleb Hannes at the plate, righty-righty matchup. He's batting .232 on the season with a .337 on base percentage. Corners in, middle infield also creeping closer to the bag. The pitch, he squares to bunt but pops it up over the backstop. Caleb Hannes has been a strong part of the end of the order. However, yesterday was a rough outing for him. No hits among the 2 doubleheader games. He did score the game-tying run in the 9th inning on Thursday, though, at Shugiak. He led off that frame with a double. That was just about as clutch as you could ask for him, leading off that inning. The 0-1, he squares to bunt again, but pulls back. The fastball is called a strike high and away. Hanna's down in the count 0-2. He's struck out 16 times this season. One of those Ks came in Game 2 yesterday. Hannes has authored 13 RBIs this season. Sebastian Tomerlin, the speedy runner in scoring position, he's got 5 steals. The 0-2 checks a swing on a curveball low and away, called strike 3. A rough couple of days for Caleb Hannes as he leads off his Tuesday evening with a backwards K. Cenaceros has 4 strikeouts. That brings the top. He's facing a lefty.
Yep.
First pitch to Tucker. That misses low for a ball. Nolan is not unaccustomed to playing against the Glacier Pilots. Although he's appeared in 3 games, he's only recorded 3 at-bats. Rather, now, in 4 games, he has now recorded 4 at-bats, 1 for 4 in that time. 1-0 stands the count, turns around, throws to second, but Tomerlin is back in with a head-first dive. Cenaceros allowed 4 earned runs in his last appearance. That was 6 days ago against the Oilers right here at Mulcahy Stadium. He did that in 4 innings of work. 1-0. Tucker waits on a fastball low and away. That's ball 2. The score is 0-0 with 1 away and runners on first and second for Matsu in the top of the 3rd inning. The leadoff man in this Matsu order is up in Nolan Tucker, the Valparaiso product, grounded out his first time up. Cenaceros readies. From the stretch. Swings and foul tips to 2-0 into the catcher's mitt.
And he's just working outside to Tucker. There's a lot of outside pitches in Tucker's first at-bat to lead off this game, and that swing and miss was triggered by another outside fastball.
Well, we saw on Sunday during team batting practice that Tucker was working on low inside fastballs, so maybe something fell out of whack in his normal ability to punch the ball the opposite way. The 2-0. Swings and misses, tied up on a fastball below the knees. Cenaceros keeps going back to the heater. Barreras on first, Tomerlin on second, 1 away, 0-0 the score, top of the 3rd inning. Hanna's recorded the only out of this frame with a backwards K on 3 pitches. 2-2 to Tucker. Swings and foul tips it to the backstop. We talked about it during his first at-bat, but he has a unique ability to keep himself alive in 2 strike counts and shorten up on the bat.
And he does usually pull the ball when he hits it on the ground. A lot of ground outs to second and first base. That here would advance Tomerlin to third base, but it would be a 2-out situation for the left-hand hitting Cooper Vest.
Might even be a double play.
True.
Tucker fouled off 2 two-strike pitches last time up. After 1, here's the pitch. Just missed, sock high. Cenaceros tried that changeup low and inside. Tucker watched it too low, so it's a full count. That was the 6th pitch of the at-bat. And the home plate umpire took a moment to issue a warning to the Anchorage dugout. Head coach offered some protest to to that ball call, and you can't argue balls and strikes in baseball. It's normally an automatic ejection. 3-2 pitch to Tucker, high and away, ball 4. Matsu loads the bases for Cooper Vest. He has been arguably the most electric hitter in the league over the last few in 21 straight contests, and in Game 2 yesterday, he was responsible for one of Matsu's 3 runs. He had an RBI triple.
Cooper Vest is so dangerous. In the last month, he has 14 RBIs, tied for 3rd best in the ABL.
Righty-lefty matchup. Corners in, 1 away, bases loaded for Matsu. The pitch. He watches a front door curveball at the belt for strike 1. The outfield evenly spaced. Stinson in left, Jackson in center, Rodriguez in right, all playing straight up. Sanaceros readies. The 0-1 from the stretch. Vest swings and tails it to the left side and foul. Out of play. It's an 0-2 count. Vest has 1 home run this season. That dinger came on the peninsula about 2 weeks ago. It was in the midst of the Miners' 3rd straight win against the Oilers in that road trip. The first leg of that July 5th doubleheader. 0-2 count for the lefty out of BYU. The pitch. He watches a fastball low for ball 1.
Takes a whole lot of discipline to lay off of a semi-close pitch with 2 strikes on you, especially with the bases loaded. You would hate to strike out looking, but Vest, as he's done all season, knows exactly where the strike zone is.
And he loves those low inside fastballs, too. The 1-2 pitch. Swings and fends off another one to the left side and out of play.
Protecting the plate. Good stuff out of Cooper right there. Lives to see another pitch. That would have probably been a ball, but again, too close to take.
Hey, Coach Tyler Brunn told me that the ability to fend off 2-strike pitches is largely assistant coach and hitting coach Kyle Watson's doing. He does a lot of work with his hitters, working out the strike zone. He practiced with Caleb Hanna's taking pitches just in BP. 1-2 for Vest, bases loaded, 1 away, the pitch. He swings, sends it to the backstop. 2 straight, 2-strike foul balls for Cooper Vest. We talked about it with Nolan Tucker. We're talking about it now. This team does not die easily.
And the longer the at-bat goes, the more frustrated the pitcher typically gets. So this has to favor Vest.
That's right. Last 2 pitches have both been low and away. His first try with 2 strikes was low and inside. The 1-2. Curveball at the knees. Vest swings and misses. Sanaceros wins the battle, and with the bases loaded, Matsu has 2 outs.
Well, I guess it did not favor Cooper Vest.
Well, it's a standoff, and Vest did his best. Here's Alex Vergara. His history with the bases loaded is positive. He hit a grand slam against the Bucks on Wednesday. That was at home at Herman Brothers Field, but now on the road against the other Anchorage squad, he's got the bases loaded and 2 away. 0-0 top of the 3rd. Righty-righty matchup. The pitch. He swings and gets tied up on a fastball high and in. Sanaceros has been dealing early on. Really good work for him, especially with the pressure on. Tucker on first, Barreras on second, Tomerlin on third, 2 away. 0-1 pitch. Vergara watches a fastball at the belt for strike 2.
Sanaceros is 1 strike away from recording his 6th punch-out in just 3 innings, which is especially crazy considering he had just 1 strikeout in his last outing against the Oilers.
And he didn't strike out anyone in the first, so that means every out in the 2nd and 3rd inning would be by way of the K. Infield back. 0-2 pitch to Vergara. He swings, drives it high into left field. That one tailing down the line. Stinson has plenty of room, 20 steps in front of the wall, and he makes a 2-handed grab above his blue hat. Matsu threatens but leaves the bases loaded without scoring a run. 0-0, we head to the bottom of the third. The 8-9 one-hitters due up for the home squad. Bottom of the third inning, righty Brandon Downer is on for his third inning of work. With Austin Barach, I'm Jesse Cook. Andrew Nicoluk is leading off for the home crew, followed by Joey Wright, and then the top of the order in Elijah Rodriguez. Nicoluk bats from the right side. This season he's hitting at a 277 clip, which for any other team might be high, but for the Glacier Pilots is low.
That's right.
First pitch, he swings and fouls it off to the right side. Nicoluk is 11th on the team in batting average and at almost 300. The 0-1. Fastball high for a ball. And that's astounding for Nicoluk that he's batting so well. That's 18 hits and 65 at-bats. The 1-1. Swings, drills it into the gap in left center field. That's on the ground. Cut off by Vergara off one hop, and Nicoluk is held to a single. But he had 2 hits during the college season, and there he records his 19th in the ABL. Something has changed in the Alaskan air for Nicoluk.
Absolutely. You talk about the depth of this order, and him only batting 277, being 11th best on the team. This is a Pilot squad that has by far the best average in the league, hitting at a 293 clip.
Joey Wright at the plate. First pitch to the righty is called a strike at the knees. The Anchorage shortstop is right after Nicoluk in the standings for top batting average on the team, but it's a steep drop to his 239 average. Downer readies. The 0-1. Squares to bunt, pulls back as that's in the turf. Lancia picks it and holds Nicoluk, who started to dart for second, back to first. The count stands at 1-1. Wright has been responsible for 6 RBIs this season. Even has a home run. The count stands at 1-1. The pitch, he swings and fouls it off to the right side. A 1-2 count for Joey Wright. He's a rising junior at UC Davis. Downer out of Cal Baptist. Very much used to the pleasant sunshine we're seeing today. The 1-2. Strike immediately. Brandon Downer out one time through the... The lefty walks up to the dish. First pitch he sees is a changeup low and away for ball 1. Rodriguez has a .302 batting line entering today. He's also recorded 20 RBIs. 1-0. Fastball up high and missed. 2-0 count. Rodriguez is one of 2 members of this Glacier Pilots lineup with 20 or more runs batted in. It's him and Will Carpenter, who's not in the lineup today. The pitch. Fastball low, and Rodriguez, who struck out on 4 pitches his last time up, has a 3-0 count.
Yeah, and the aforementioned Carpenter, along with Kondaguchi not in the lineup today, they've both been dealing with injuries.
3-0, the pitch. Fastball at the knees, blown away, called a strike. Grant Richardson, Matsu's lefty, he started.
Playoffs begin in 2 weeks.
Will Bermuda is at the dish, batting from the left side. First pitch, he squares to bunt, but pulls back. Fastball missed below the knees. And all of those Grand Canyon guys are coached at GCU by Dave Stapleton, a former Matsu minor.
not to be confused with Chris Stapleton.
I've heard their voices are equally good. Runners on first and second. The 1-0. Swing and a miss behind the fastball, high and in. Bermudez hits at a .341 rate. He's only recorded 4 RBIs in the 15 games he's played, but he reaches base really well, adding to that 11 walks and 3 hit-by pitches. The 1-1. Swings, fouls it off to the left side over the stands. Bermudez made his ABL debut against the Miners in that doubleheader back on June 21st, and he tripled with his first at-bat. Downers 1-2. Swing and a miss. 4 strikeouts in 2 2/3 innings. That's the second out of this frame, and there's still runners on first and second for Anchorage.
So Downer has doubled now his previous season total in strikeouts in just this game thus far.
That's right. It was 2 on the season. Now it's 4 in this game. Here's Blake Jackson. He grounded out to short last time up. Righty-lefty dealings. The pitch. Swings behind the fastball at the belt for strike 1. Downer peers in. His teal glove pointed at his gold lettering. Baseball situated behind his belt on his back. Now he comes set. 0-1 pitch. Changeup blown away. Called a ball. Downer has only pitched against the Peninsula Oilers when it comes to ABL teams. Both of his starts were against them. The 1-1 swung on, battered up the middle. Barreras dived for it in shallow center field, but it's by him. 1 run comes around to score. Throw over to the runner going for third. He's safe. Throw back to second is dealt into right field. Carpenter backs it up. 1 more run comes home, and that moves Jackson into third base. 2 runs score on Jackson's single, one of them unearned after Caleb Handa's throwing error to second base bag. 2-0 the Glacier Pilots lead with 2 away in the bottom of the third. A runner stranded off of third base for the cleanup man Troy Harding, who signaled the game's first hit his last time up. So Jackson gets a single turned into a triple. Righty-righty matchup, first pitch, Harding fouls that over the backstop.
And that is the 7th error of the season for Caleb Hannes. Almost all of them have been from the throwing variety.
That's right. His glove has been so good, but the transfer has been off on occasion. The 0-1 to the catcher. Misses blown away. The curveball didn't find its spot. Downer hasn't gone to his breaking pitch a whole lot in this game. He's relied on his heater and his changeup, as has his counterpart in Aaron Sendeseros. 1-1 count, the pitch. Swings behind the front to a curve. Harding was indecisive. He stuttered in the middle of his swing and then pulled all the way around.
It's hard to do that, but he did seem like he glitched there mid-swing.
An error in the computing system. Downer shakes off a signal, now nods. Glove at the chest. The 1-2 pitch. In the turf, blown away, ball 2. Runner on third. That's Blake Jackson. He singled that to bring home a pair of runs. Glacier Pilots lead 2-0 bottom of the third. 2-2 pitch. Curveball misses high and away. It's a full count for Harding. Harding has walked 10 times this season. He bats at a .347 rate. The 3-2. Front door curveball swung on and fouled over the backstop. Due up in Lancia, Carpenter, and Rogers, the 4, 5, 6 batters. We'll be back in just a moment. 2-0 Pilots.
Welcome back to Mulcahy Stadium in Anchorage, Alaska. To my left is Jesse Cook. I'm Austin Barach. The Glacier Pilots, the home team, lead the road squad Matsu Miners 2-0 after 2 runs in the bottom of the 3rd inning. One of those will be charged to the starter Brandon Downer, but the other one was unearned off of a throwing error. Nonetheless, it is Steven Lancia, Caden Carpenter, and Braden Rogers 4-5-6 due up for Ty LeBrun's squad, a righty, lefty, and righty set to face Aaron Senaceros, who has allowed 0 runs thus far through 3 innings. Righty matchup. Here we go in the 4th. Senaceros out of the windup, deals, and gets a swing and miss out of Lancia, who had plenty of swings and misses his first time up, struck out swinging back in the 2nd. 1 of 5 strikeout victims thus far for Senaceros.
And that was a 3-pitch K, so he didn't see anything well.
The 0-1 misses, blown away, evens up the count at 1 apiece.
Lancia swings a heavy bat, and he told me that there have been a few pop-outs where he feels like if he just got good contact, he could have driven it. That does raise an issue that if the pitch selection is bad or you're uppercutting.
That's right. It's the 1-1. It's another hack and a miss. A front door breaking ball. It's 1-2. We've seen a lot of hitters in this Matsu order, particularly the heart of the order with Vest, Vergara, Lancia. They're really great hitters, but sometimes they do pop it up. It's just a matter of squaring it up from occasion to occasion. Lancia faces the 1-2 right here. The pitch, blown away, 2-2.
Well, Senaceros is trying to get Lancia to bite, but it also looks like he's losing his control on those breaking pitches because neither of those balls were anywhere close to the plate.
His control was working well the first 3 innings. He's had that slider blown away to the right-hand hitters. The 2-2 fastball misses low and in. It's a full count.
Lancia's got a good eye. He's walked 11 times this season, but he's also struck out 15 on 15 occasions.
He's got 2 walks and 3 strikeouts against the Glacier Pilots specifically this season. The payoff misses low and away, and Steven Lancia earns himself a walk. The lead runner is on for the Miners.
Well, Caden Carpenter has had his struggles with strikeouts. He's got 21 on the year, but his bat has really picked up over the last few weeks. I think he's been one of the more impactful players for Matsu in this late push into first place.
Carpenter has hit around 300 over the last month. The lefty takes a ball just below the knees. It's a 1-0 count. Carpenter was a strikeout victim as Senaceros struck out the side in order in the 2nd in Lancia, Carpenter, and Rogers. Small lead at first for Lancia, no stolen bases for him on the season. The pitch goes home, curveball misses low again. It's a 2-0 count. Carpenter went 1 for 6 with a walk and a pair of strikeouts in yesterday's doubleheader against the Oilers. Senaceros out of the stretch. 2-0. Misfires just outside. It's a 3-0 count. Carpenter's walked in almost every game this season. He's got 7 multi-walk games as well, searching for his first base on balls today. The 3-0 misses outside. Carpenter earns his 27th walk of the season and the 6th against the Glacier Pilots. The Miners have runners at first and second with no outs, down 2-0 in the top of the 4th.
Well, Braden Rogers is homered against these Glacier Pilots this season. He represents a go-ahead run. It's still early, the top of the 4th, but in the battle for first place, it's never too early to start thinking about those crucial runs.
Never too early, that's right. That home run came about 4 weeks ago on the solstice. He shows bunt and hits it off the end of the bat out of play towards the Anchorage dugout on the first base side. It's an 0-1 count to Braden.
That ball brought to you by Glacier Pilots.
Barach, the first baseman, playing on the infield grass. So is the third baseman, Andrew Nikolic. 2-1, nobody out. Top of the fourth, Matsu trailing 2-0. He shows bunt again, lays it down the third base side. Nikolic watches it. Roll foul. That ball hugged the line, but it tailed foul. Smart move by Nikolic, and the runners go back to their respective bases. It's an 0-2 count.
I think on a grass field, that ball stays fair. It's all turf on this infield. There's no definition, so the ball just rolled. If you add any semblance of rocks, Rogers put that so well down the line. He just needed some friction to keep that fair.
Definitely, yes. Definitely a good attempt, but nonetheless, it's an 0-2 count. Corners play still in, rather. Nikolic now back in line with the third base back. The 0-2, swing and a miss on the outside corner. Rogers is down on a swinging strikeout for the second time today. And that's the sixth punch-out for Cenaceros on the afternoon. One away in the fourth.
Aaron Cenaceros has been so solid when it comes to strikeouts when he can get it going. That's his second six strikeout game. His last one came on July 1st. He struck out 5 in his first outing on opening day against the Bucks.
So here comes Sebastian Tomlin. Seabass sliced a single to right field his first time up back in the third. The pitch to him is dealt a fastball low and inside. Tomlin, that's his 7th base hit of the season, all singles thus far. It's another big opportunity for him with runners at first and second with his team down 2-0 in the top of the fourth. Cenaceros' 0-1 offering popped up in the infield. Bermudez, the second baseman, strolls backwards and makes the grab for out number 2.
Tomlin has the power to make good contact. We've seen him send line drives foul this season, but on inside pitches, he does one of two things, which is either he leads with his hands and meets the ball and spirals it the other way, or he drops his hands and pushes up, causing a pop out, and the latter is what happened there.
So here's Emilio Barreras. Now with 2 gone, runners at first and second still in Lancia and Carpenter. He singled his first time up opposite field to left. The pitch, low and inside on the breaking ball in the turf for ball 1. So after the Miners stranded 3 runners, left them loaded last inning, are in jeopardy of straining 2 here in the top of the fourth. Cenaceros dangling that right arm, resets. Ball waist high. The pitch to the lefty Barreras runs up and outside. It's a 2-0 count. Barreras has been good all season with not pulling the ball if he doesn't have to. Willing to go opposite field. Has 26 base hits now on the season. The 2-0 catches the outside corner. It's 2-1. Outfielders playing shallow for Emilio. He's got 2 homers on the year. The 2-1 popped up again. Infield play. Barraza calls everybody off, and the first baseman makes the catch. That retires the side. So for the second straight inning, Matsu leaves runners on base. They've stranded 5 through 4 innings, and after 3.5, Glacier Pilots still lead it 2-0.
fourth inning rolls along here at Mulcahy Stadium alongside Jesse Cook. I'm Austin Barach. Brandon Downer still in the bump, set for his fourth inning of work against 5, 6, and 7 in the Glacier Pilots order: Andrew Lamb, Nathan Barraza, and Jacob Stinson. So it's a righty-lefty matchup to start things off in the bottom of the fourth. Downer on the hill, the lefty with no batting gloves. As always, Andrew Lamb at the dish, the designated hitter. Pitch, fastball, just misses outside for ball 1. Lamb roped into a double play, 4-6-3 in the second inning. Of course, a double play right now is impossible. The 1-0 misses low. It's 2-0. This Miners defense has spun some unique double plays this season. The 2-0 tags the outside corner. It's 2-1. This Glacier Pilots team hasn't hit into many double plays. Only a couple of players in the order have grounded into at least 3 this season. The 2-1 whistled out of play over the third base side. It's a 2-2 count to the 5-hitter. Lamb out of USC, Downer out of Cal Baptist, 2 SoCal guys. The 2-2 sliced in the left field, and that's down for a fair ball in the corner. Vergara is sent to the corner, and Andrew Lamb has himself a stand-up double to lead off the bottom of the fourth, his 4th double of the season.
He got good contact. He waited for the ball to come high and away. He moved his hands first. His hands and his hips led his swing, and that's what enabled him to put the ball the opposite way with such solid contact.
So with the leadoff man on, and the Glacier Pilots up 2-0, here comes the heavy-hitting Nathan Barraza. He's second in the ABL in at-bats this season, only trailing Matsu's first baseman Cooper Vest. He shows bunt, pulls back, takes a ball low on the fastball. His first time up, he had himself an infield single on a play where Vest nearly tagged him in time down that first base side. Downer's 1-0, misses blown away again. 2-0 count to Barraza. Barraza's also had 2 appearances as a pitcher. We saw the Chinooks have a similar player in Ryan Matheson, 2-way guy. He's a third baseman. The 2-0 hits sharply to the backstop, 2-1.
The Bucks have Curtis Hebert, who serves the same purpose. Normally they're second baseman, but every now and then he comes out of the bullpen.
That's right. Barraza enters this game with 7 doubles and 2 home runs. Interestingly enough, this season at CSU Northridge, he also had 7 doubles and 2 home runs. He shows bunt. The pitch misses inside. 3 balls and 1 strike to Barraza.
Trademark of a good player is if he can perform consistently well across different venues.
Pitch inside again. Barraza has himself a walk, his 11th of the season, and the Pilots have something brewing. 2 runners on and nobody out.
Well, it's not the worst scenario for Downer. He allows the first 2 runners to reach base, but he does have a force out at any base with the bottom of the order due up.
You know, something else we have not seen this season, a triple play.
That is true. I wouldn't be surprised if Matsu had the capability to turn one. Caleb Hanna's and Nolan Tucker have a good connection at third and second, and Cooper Vest has been very solid. He hasn't dropped a ball sent right to him at first.
That's true. That is something that I would have set the line on half. 0.5 triple plays spun this season that we were witness to. So far, the people who bet the under would be winning that. Steve Hecker now walks back off the mound. Heck just got back from Texas to watch his son play. Only missed 1 day of baseball for the Matsu Miners. Ambitious trip for him. Glad that he got to see his son play. Big things in life, that's something worth attending, and he's back in the last frontier right now. See what advice he gave Downer as he works the 7-hitter, the lefty, Jacob Stinson, out of UC Davis. The pitch flared up and fell for strike 1.
Yeah, Heck's always talking about his family, and that is one of the detriments of being up here in Alaska is that you miss them for the 2 months you're here, unless they come and visit.
2 on, nobody out, bottom fourth. Stinson takes a pitch low. It's a 1-1 count. Stinson is a dangerous batter. He comes in with a .326 batting average, but he rides a 9-game hitting streak dating back to July 2nd. In that stretch, he's batting .406. The pitch hit foul, spiraled towards the Pilot as a pitcher's count 1 ball, 2 strikes to Stinson. He checks second. He fires home. Low. 2-2. Four of Stinson's 15 hits this season are extra base hits. He's got 1 homer. That came 11 days ago against the Bucks. The 2-2. Rope to second. Tucker has it there. Spins to second. That's an out. The throw to first base. He's safe. So the Miners get 1 out, and the runners are at the corners for the Glacier Pilots, 1 away with Andrew Nikolic coming up to the plate.
Last time up, Nikolic sliced a single, put that through to left field. Another hit would elevate this Anchorage lead to 3, maybe more.
So here is Nikolic, batting .277, but he's just .182 in the month of July. The runner goes, he flares one to second base. Tucker has it, that's an out. The runners stay where they are. Nikolic flared one out to second. Tucker raced back just in the nick of time, and there are 2 gone in the bottom of the 4th.
Well, that's situational defense for Matsu. Tucker was playing at double play depth. Normally he'd be further to the right, and that pitch would have ended up behind him. He would have had to have reached across his body to make that play, but being at double play depth made it a little easier.
So here comes the 9-hitter, Joey Wright, with 2 outs, runner to the corner. He shows bunt and takes a strike on the inside half of the plate.
That's an odd one, unless you know you can bunt for a hit. That must be the play with Wright, unless it's just a confusion tactic.
He's batting just .239 on the season. Shows bunt again. Lines one down the first base side, but foul. Vest scoops it up about 8 inches to the right of fair territory. It's an 0-2 count to Joey Wright. Wright struck out looking back in the 3rd. Downer has 4 Ks this afternoon in search of his 5th. 2 on, 2 outs. The pitch runs outside. 1-2. Wright is 3 for 11 against Matsu this season. The pitch. Got by him. Downer screams in celebration after downing Joey Wright for the 2nd time today. 2 runners are stranded for the Glacier Pilots after 4. It's 2-0 Anchorage. We'll be right back with 9-1-2 due up for Matsu. Welcome to the 5th inning here in Anchorage, Alaska. The Miners find themselves down 2 runs to nothing. Austin Barach. It's Caleb Hanna's, Nolan Tucker, and Cooper Vest 9-1-2 due up for Tyler Brunn's squad. And first up is Caleb Hanna's out of Alpo. He struck out looking his first time up. Entering yesterday, he had hit safely in 10 of his last 12 games, but went 0 for 6 yesterday and 0 for 1 so far today. Senacero still firing for the home team, and he delivers a ball just below the knees to begin the 5th. Against the Pilots, Hannes is now 3 for 20 at batting average around 150. He's around 225 for the year. The 1-0 breaking ball stings the bottom of the zone for strike 1. Second baseman Bermudez playing Hannes to go up the middle. The 1-1 misses outside. 2 balls, 1 strike. Hannes has been the everyday starting third baseman since around 3 weeks into the season. He's got a great glove there, but made an error that made it 2-0 today. The 2-1 pitch framed nicely in the outside corner by Harding. It's a 2-2 count to Caleb.
Remember, Hanna's joined the team about a week in while the Miners were doing some public service at a local grocery store in Wasilla.
The 2-2 to Hanna's skipped on the plate and off the padding of the catcher Harding. It's a full count.
I guess that's the effect that comes with having an all-turf field. If a pitch bounces at the right angle, it can go sky high.
A right angle, 90 degrees. Sorry, that was a bad pun.
That almost was 90 degrees. It went straight up. Let it be known, no one...
Out of the windup. The payoff again. Roped foul along the third base side. Grant Richardson and Kyle Watson give a jog to it. Watson closer to it, and he snags the ball. Underhand flips to Richardson.
It's always a foot race between the pitcher on his off day
Yes.
and the base coach for the ball.
And Richardson gritties like he always does. The 3-2 again. Curveball popped up the infield. Bermudez, the second baseman, gives way to Barach, the first. That's the first out of the 5th.
That was a big problem for Hanna's yesterday. He didn't put a single ball on the ground. If it wasn't his 1 strikeout, his other 5 at-bats all resulted in either flyouts or pop-ups. Same here.
Yeah. So here's Nolan Tucker, the leadoff man, grounded out to second his first time up. Earned a walk back in the 3rd. He's 0 for 1. Pitch. Swing and a miss on the outside corner. Blew by him on the fastball. It's 0-1.
Tucker had some fatal flaw would be that when he knows he's missing a pitch, he commits to that. He turns all the way around and pulls his head out of his swing. If he can stay a little more confident through his swing, it'll appear much better.
The 0-1. Roped in the left center field. Stinson goes back on the warning track and makes the grab sign. Nolan Tucker took it for a ride. That's just a long fly out to left field. There are 2 outs in the top of the 5th.
Solid contact for Tucker. He's done well hitting the ball the opposite way. He tried to do that his first time up, leading with his hands, but he kept rolling over, and that's why he forced it onto the ground. That time it was great contact, just the wrong spot.
So here's Cooper Vest, who has been Mr. hitting it to the wrong spot this season, right at fielders all year long here in Alaska. The pitch to him is corked past the diving play of Joey Wright into left field. Cooper Vest is on with a single, another hard hit ball for the BYU product, and the inning is not over yet. It's 1 runner on with 2 outs in the 5th.
Yeah, Vest has certainly been the hard time losing man this season. Every time he hits the ball hard, it seems like it goes right out of field. Or even there, a single to the shortstop. If it was pretty much at Wright, who had to make a diving play on it. Lucky for Vest that it got through. He smoked that thing.
The Pilots do not want to see the inning extended to this guy, Alex Vergara. He's tied for the league high with 3 home runs this season. The pitch, roped, diving play by Nikolic. The third baseman throws on a second in time for the force out there. Hard hit ground out, but good play made by Nikolic, and the side is retired. Matsu strands 1 after 4.5. It's 2-0 Glacier Pilots with the top of the order due up in the bottom half of the inning. We're midway through this contest at Mulcahy Stadium, the home team up 2-0 alongside Jesse Cook. I'm Austin Barach. And the top of the order due up for the Glacier Pilots and Elijah Rodriguez, Will Bermudez, and Blake Jackson set to face the right-hand throwing Brandon Downer in for his 5th inning of work. His longest outing in his first 2 starts, 5 innings, his last time out against the Oilers on July the 9th. So here's Rodriguez, began the day batting a shade over 300. He's 0 for 1 with a strikeout and a walk. The lefty swings and misses on the first pitch he sees on a ball in the turf. It's an 0-1 count.
3rd time through the order.
The 0-1, back up the middle. Barach fields it nicely, throws on a first base. Vest has to stretch, but does so nicely. And that's out number 1 on the 6-3 putout.
Well, Barreras makes the throw look so casual, and that's what makes it so surprising when it falls offline, but he hasn't played in a week, so it's understandable.
So here comes Will Bermudez, another lefty, and he takes ball 1, high and outside. The pitch, roped foul. Along the first base side, it's a 1-1 count. Bermudez flied out to center his first time up and struck out swinging back in the 3rd. He began the day with a 3. He's now 3 for 10 against Matsu this season, and he lines one over the head of Caleb Hand. Bermudez rounds first base, and he has himself a single. 1 runner on in the bottom of the 5th.
Glacier Pilots' bats are moving really well. That's their 6th hit of the day as a team. It doesn't help that Matsu has committed 2 errors in the field, but even without those mistakes, Anchorage would still be up 1-0 as opposed to 2.
So here comes another lefty, Blake Jackson. He's 1 for 2 on the day. First pitch. Misses low on a breaking ball outside. Jackson, as we've alluded to, has the best batting average in the ABL. Began the day batting .457. Hitting stretch. He is .647 since July 9th. That's in his last 4 games. 11 for 17, and he's 1 for 2 today, so that's 12 for 19. That pitch stings the outside corner. Jackson shakes his head in disagreement, but it's a 2-1 count to the ever-dangerous 3-hitter. Downer out of the stretch. 1-on-1 out the pitch. Low, the runner delayed steal, the throw on a second base, and that's an easy tag for Emilio Barreras. Bad idea by Will Bermudez. He's gunned out by Steven Lancia, and there are 2 away in the bottom of the 5th. That's the first time that Bermudez has been caught stealing this season. Wow.
It just felt like bad communication on the part of the Glacier Pilots. Great play by Lancia.
The 3-1 to Jackson misses upstairs. He's on for the second time today.
Doesn't that make the steal seem so pointless? My feeling is that Bermudez was supposed to go on a 3-1 count, but he thought there were 3 balls, so he went on the 2-1 count instead, because it seemed like such a lazy steal as well that it wasn't coordinated well. And now it's pointless because he would be on second anyway with that walk. Bad idea by the Glacier Pilots.
Certainly keeps this a closer game. Still 2-0 Glacier Pilots in the bottom of the 5th. As Harding, the right-hand hitter, swings and misses on a big cut inside. Harding is 1 for 2 today. They single in the second and a ground out to short in the third. So his average has bumped up just above 350 on the year. The 0-1 misses low in the turf. The runner goes. Lancia will not make a throw as he took a minute to find where the ball was. It's a 2-0 count with a runner, Jackson, in scoring position. Harding has 14 RBIs this season, but has none against the minors. And he swings and misses on a changeup. 2-2 count. Rather, 2-1. Vergara in left field playing a little bit back for Harding, who has 3 home runs, tied with Vergara for the league high. Last time he homered was 6 days ago against the Oilers. The 2-1 from Downer misses lone outside, 3-1.
We're about 2 miles away from that Anchorage airport, so we're getting a lot of avian friends above us.
And seagulls, more avian friends. The pitch, swing and a miss. That is strike 3. Troy Harding is retired, and a runner, Jackson, is left stranded in scoring position. So after 5, it's still 2-0 home team with Lancia, Carpenter, and Rogers due up in the top of the 6th. We'll be right back. There is a new pitcher on the mound as we enter the top of the 6th alongside Jesse Cook. I'm Austin Barach, and that new pitcher is the left-hand throwing Ty Atkins out of Hawaii. Atkins, one of the best relief pitchers in the ABL this season, comes in with an impressive 1.63 ERA in 22 innings. Just 3 earned runs this season as Lancia flares one into right field. Rodriguez backpedals, though, and makes the grab for out number 1. Tough luck for Lancia.
That's been the story of the game thus far.
Earlier with Joey Wright at his normal side of shortstop. That's a strike 1 on the outside corner. Atkins has that dangerous release point. Tough for left-handed hitters like Carpenter to pick it up. Atkins has faced the minors once before, back on June 26th in Palmer. The 0-1 catches the lower part of the zone. It's an 0-2 count. In that outing, he went 3 innings, allowing just 1 hit and 4 strikeouts facing 11 batters. Atkins really mowed down the lineup that day against her. Swivels in, misses just inside. Atkins wanted it, but that was a good eye by Carpenter. It's a 1-2 count to him. Nobody on, 1 out in the top of the 6th. Matsu trailing 2-0. Atkins' 1-2 offering. Bouncer to the third baseman, Nikolic. He charges in, makes the throw in time. Got him by half of a stride. And there are 2 outs in the top of the 6th.
Carpenter's a fast player, and that was a slow hop. That really shows off the good glove of Andrew Nikolic to make that play. He tossed it across the body, moving away from the bag. Really takes some real athleticism to complete a play like that.
Absolutely. Here comes Braden Rogers, the DH today for Matsu. He struggled today at the dish, 0 for 2 with a pair of punch-outs. Atkins' pitch fires in for a strike right down the middle. Atkins has not quite a submarine at an angle that is not a usual angle. Pitching from the left side of the rubber. The 0-1 swivels in for a strike on the inner half. It's quickly 0-2 to Braden. Zero balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, nobody on. 2-0 Glacier Pilots. Atkins' pitch runs inside. 1-2. Atkins had an over 18 ERA in 8 outings this season at Hawaii, but so far this season in the ABL. The pitch, just off the outside corner, and from down 0-2, Braden Rogers has himself a full count. Fielders playing straight up for Braden. Wow. The payoff. Swung on and hit to the backstop near us, to the right of us. Count remains full.
Those thuds you heard were Braden Rogers chipping paint off the blue overarch to the stands on which this press box sits.
Atkins peers in, works out of the stretch. The pitch flared up and over us. Braden Rogers keeping things alive.
Well, he's been a victim of 2 strikeouts already, and both of those came on 4 and 3 pitches. So extending an at-bat like this, even if it doesn't go his way in the end, is a promising sight.
He is 2 for 13 now against the Glacier Pilots this season in his 5th game against them. The 3-2 once again, popped up infield play. Barraza, the first baseman, works in foul territory, and he meanders over and makes the grab. Atkins makes quick work of 4, 5, and 6 in the Matsu order. Through 5.5, the Glacier Pilots still lead it 2-0 with Lamb, Barraza, and Stinson due up. Still a goose egg on the score bug for the Miners. 2 for the hometown Glacier Pilots. To my left is Jesse Cook. I'm Austin Barach. Brandon Downer set to face Lamb, Barraza, and Stinson. And should he record one out, it'll be his official longest outing of the season for the righty out of Cal Baptist. He fires to the lefty Lamb, and that misses outside for ball 1. Lamb today hit into a double play and laced a double down the left field line. That began the top of the 4th, rather the bottom of the 4th. The 1-0 is blasted out of play. 1-1 the count.
Yeah, it's been a day of twos for Andrew Lamb. In his first 2 at-bats, he has a double play and a double.
The 1-1 down the middle for a strike. And after today, we will be here at Mulcahy Stadium 2 more times against the Glacier Pilots specifically. That'll wrap up the regular season. The playoffs begin in exactly 14 days, 2 weeks from now. Pitch sails low. Evens up the count, 2 balls and 2 strikes. And these 2 teams are battling for that top seed right now. The Pilots back by 1 game in the standings. Downers 2-2. Floated into left field. Lamb extended his arms and plunked it into left field between third base and shortstop. And he's on once again to lead off the bottom of the 6th.
Good extension by Lamb. That's part of protecting the plate with 2 strikes. He shortened up on the bat and lean in more for those outside pitches, and it worked out well for him. He didn't just deflect it to the left side for a foul ball. He put it in play.
Middle infield now in double play depth to Nathan Barraza. Downer checks on the runner, Lamb at first base, easily back safe. Lamb, 0 stolen bases in 0 attempts this season. Barraza, the righty, out of CSU Northridge, shows bunt, pulls back. That pitch would have hit him if he didn't run out of the box. It's a 1-0 count. A lot of these Pilots hitters have shown bunt so far today, a move that has been known to the Matsu bats. Barraza hitting .324 on the season. The pitch inside did not show bunt this time, but again, the catcher Lancia had to move to the left to make the grab.
There's some action in the Matsu bullpen. Lefty Mario Bejarano starting to warm up.
Downers 2-0. Fastball misses low around the shin level. 3-0 count. So Downers' day might be coming to a close sooner rather than later. Down 2-0 here in the bottom of the 6th. The pitch shows bunt, pulls back. It's a strike on the inner half of the plate. So Downer stays alive in this count. It's 3 balls to 1 strike to Barraza. Barraza today 1 for 1. Reached on an infield single, and then in the 4th reached on a walk. The 3-1 from the stretch. Swung on, flared past Vest. Nobody gets to it. Everybody's safe. Tucker throws back to second base, but not in time to get that runner. Nathan Barraza squeezes an infield single, his second infield single of the day. And the first 2 runners are on here in the 6th for the Glacier Pilots.
That's just a rough go of things for Downer. He made a good pitch to back-to-back batters, but they were protecting the plate, and both of them just screwballed the ball the wrong way for Matsu.
Steven Lancia talked with Downer here on the hill. So with the first 2 runners aboard, here is the left-hand hitting Jacob Stinson. Stinson today 0 for 2, they strike out, and a fielder's choice. So that 9-game hitting streak for him is in jeopardy. And now Tyler Brunn walks the mound, and Downer's day is in fact done. So Brandon goes 5 strong innings, 5+, but does not record an out here in the 6th. He allows 2 runs, just 1 of them earned. So another strong outing overall for the righty out of Cal Baptist, and he gives way to the left-hand throwing Mario Bejarano with 2 runners on and nobody out in the bottom of the 6th. We'll be back in the 6th in just a few minutes. Stay with us. So Brandon Downer has been removed from the game. His final line, 5+ innings, 7 hits, 2 runs, only one of them earned, 6 strikeouts, and 3 walks. And the 2 runners on the base path right now are his responsibility. Mario Bejarano is now the pitcher. The lefty deals. Stinson pulls back in the bunt attempt for ball 1, pitch outside. Bejarano out of, as that pitch is a strike on the outside corner on the bunt attempt. Well, my stats are not loading for Bejarano, so we'll say he's had many appearances this season. The 1-1 is dropped on the bunt. Bejarano fields it, throws on a first base in time for out number 1. Sacrifice bunt is successful for Jacob Stinson. The runners move into scoring position. Both of them, Lamb now at third, Barraza at second. And here is Andrew Nikolic.
This is Mario's 10th appearance.
So the infield is now in, as the first pitch to the right-hand hitting Andrew Nikolic is called for a strike on the outside corner. 0-1 the count with 1 out. That pitch runs inside. It's a 1-1 count now. Outfield playing shallow in the instance of a sacrifice fly. The 1-1 swung on, hit to Hannes. He goes home, and now the runner is in a pickle. Lancia tracks him, and the runner's back safely there, but 2 runners at third base. One is called out by rule. The hitter, Nikolic, runs on to second base. Both Lamb and Barraza stood at third base as Lancia chased Lamb back to that bag. The third base umpire rules Barraza out. Nikolic got all the way to second base, so on a very weird play that began with a grounder to the third baseman Hannes, there are 2 outs with runners in scoring position.
Well, and good awareness by Steven Lancia to make the play and tag both runners and hold them both in check.
So here comes Joey Wright, the 9-hitter, in the upper part of the zone. He struck out both times he's come to the dish today. The 0-1 up high. It's a 1-1 count. In the bottom of the 6th. Mario's 2-2. And that's a foul ball on a check swing that awkwardly hit the bat. All right, so runners in scoring position, 2 outs and a 2-2 count to the 9-hitter. Bejarano deals. The pitch up high, ball 3. It's a full count.
Mario's working around Joey Wright, but you shouldn't have to. The 9-hitter is 0 for 2 with a pair of Ks, both on 4 pitches. It's time to just attack. First base is open.
Here we go, the payoff pitch. Fastball clunked to the backstop. Remains a full count.
Wright has struggled at the plate with a .239 batting average this season. This is where you attack. You can't be a pitcher in baseball and not attack.
The pitch. Bouncer, right side of the infield. Nobody covers first base. The runner scores. Vest throws home, and now the runner is in a pickle. Lancia does not make a tag. He's called out actually on the base path. Another hectic play. 1 run does in fact score as Bejarano did not get over to first base to cover for Vest. And after a wild sequence, no Wi-Fi, very weird decision on the base path, and from the pitchers and everybody involved really, after all of that mess in the last 5+ minutes, the Glacier Pilots lead it 3-0 entering the 7th inning. We'll be back.
Top of the 7th inning coming your way from Anchorage. The Glacier Pilots lead 3-0 after a hectic end to that 6th inning. Matsu's got the bottom of the order up in the 7, 8, 9 hitters. Sebastian Tomerlin, Emilio Barreras, and Caleb Hannes. The lefty Ty Atkins is still on the hill, and Jesse Cook and Austin Barach, we're still up in the broadcast booth. So Tomerlin comes up to the plate. He's 1 for 2. First pitch. He watches a fastball low and away for a strike. That run came around for Anchorage after Joey Wright singled to first base. The pitcher, Mario Bejarano, never covered the bag, so Vest was left stranded out there as a runner came home. 0-1. Tomerlin swings on the inside curveball and fouls it off to the right side. That runner was Andrew Lamb. Andrew Nicolak tried to follow him from second base, but Vest was wise to it, threw home to Lancia, who got him in a pickle, threw to Hannes at third, who then darted home back to Vest, who laid down the tag for the third out. 0-2. Tomerlin watches a fastball high and away. 1-2 count. And all of the Glacier Pilots' runs today have come through peculiar means. They had 2 back in the 3rd inning after an error brought home the 2nd run. 1-2. Swings, laces it down the third base line. It eats up the third baseman Nicolak. He recovers and tries to make the throw. Hit. He tried to make the play as it crept up on his backhand above his head. Official scorer just ruled it an error, so Tomerlin is aboard on the E5, and that brings up the 8-hitter Emilio Barreras. He's 1 for 2 as well, batting from the left side, just like Tomerlin.
It was a hard hit ball, but should have been played by Nicolak.
First pitch, he swings, pops it up, left field, down the line. Stinson in pursuit. He reaches up with one hand about 10 steps right of the line and makes the catch. Tomerlin retreats to first. There's one away with one on for the 9-hitter, Caleb Hannes.
With that brings up Caleb Hannes.
The third baseman has struggled in the last 2 days. 3 games in that time, including this one. No hits in 8 at-bats. He's either struck out or popped the ball up. Atkins readies. Deals from the stretch. This is blown away. Hannes, out of Valparaiso, is a native to Terre Haute, Indiana. Atkins, from the University of Hawaii, hails from Hawaii as well. The 1-0. Misses inside. Hannes picked up his back foot and then motioned to Sebastian Tomerlin to hold it first because it looked like that ball might have gotten by catcher Troy Harding, but it didn't. 2-0 count. Atkins resettles. He deals. The sidearm pitch is high and away for a ball. The count stands at 3-0 for Hannes with a runner on first, one away. The Glacier Pilots lead 3-0 here in the top of the 7th inning. The pitch. Change up at the belt for a strike. Matsu's bat struggled yesterday, scoring 3 runs in 15 innings of that doubleheader. 3-1, swings and nubs it off his front foot for a foul ball. Realistically, the defense played 15 innings. The bats actually had 16 innings to play, although they didn't have to play the last frame of the second leg of the doubleheader because they were ahead. It's a bunch of math, and we're here to talk. Math isn't our strong suit. Numbers, what is all that? Caleb Hannes at the dish. Runner off for second. The pitch comes in. He swings and fouls it to the backstop. Sebastian Tomerlin has swiped 5 bases this season. He's tied for the team lead alongside Caden Carpenter, his teammate out in right field. Tomerlin, the center fielder for Matsu.
Right now, Matsu has to get runs across home plate.
Well, that's the bottom line any game. I guess not in the first leg of yesterday's doubleheader.
Feels like a dire situation right here. Need to score runs.
3-2. He throws over to first. Matsu lost that first game yesterday 0-0. The Oilers won thanks to the extra innings rule, where if the game goes past 1 extra inning, the second one will be played as the home team deciding if they want to play defense or offense in a sudden death format. 3-2. No, he throws over to first. Tomerlin back safely. The Oilers were acting as the home squad for that first game yesterday, so the Peninsula chose to play defense for that sudden death half inning. If Matsu didn't score, the Oilers would win, and Matsu didn't score. So the Oilers won 0-0. 3-2. Hannah swings, fouls it deep down the right field line and out of play.
It feels especially dire because at this point, I know it's math here, so if my math checks out, the Miners have scored 3 runs in their last 22 innings of offense.
That's not exactly ideal.
Not great.
All of them came in yesterday's second game. Atkins throws over to first. Tomerlin is back with a dive. Gee, you try to steal second once, the guy fouls it off, and now the pitcher can't stop thinking about you. Sebastian Tomerlin, after trying to take second, has been the victim of 3 pickoff attempts. 1 away, 3-2 to Hannes. He watches a fastball blown away, called strike 3. The M's third baseman started to walk off to first, but the umpire held him in check. And now it's up to the top of the Matsu order to try and keep this going. And if the Matsu bats are anything like they have been the earlier part of the game, then this might be the last time through the order.
That was a big 50-50 call right there.
Well, the umpire has had a laterally wide strike zone today. First pitch to the lefty, Tucker. This is low and inside. Hasn't been a very tall strike zone, but it's been 1 or 2 balls width inside and outside of the plate for him. Nolan Tucker is 0 for 2. He walked in the third. First pitch. Tomerlin off for second. That pitch called a strike. Throw to the bag and not in time. 6th steal of the year for Sebastian Tomerlin. And correction, that was the second pitch to Nolan Tucker. It's a 1-1 count. Now there's a runner in scoring position. Sometimes all it takes is a drop of water to start the flood. And Matsu needs more than a drop. 3 runs, like you said, in their last 22 innings of offense. They need a lot more than that. They had the late game magic at Chugiak on Thursday with that 3-run ninth to take the lead and win. 1-1. Tomerlin swings, fouls it to the right backstop over near his own bench.
Well, they need exactly 3 to tie up this ball game. And remember, last time the Miners were here, 30th against the Bucks, Miners were down by, 7 runs in the 8th inning and nearly came back and tied it.
Against the Bucks?
Against the Bucks,
That's
yeah.
true. They have come back against the Glacier Pilots from deficits of 3 runs or more in each of the last 3 games. But they are running out of time. The 1-2. Tucker watches a front door curveball called strike 3. That pitch was over the inside chalk of the plate. Matsu has a right to be upset about that call. Nolan Tucker still at home plate arguing with the umpire. That pitch was more than a ball or two's width off the plate. That's a rough one for the Miners, but they just have to adapt and learn as we head to the bottom of the 7th inning. Glacier Pilots up 3-0 with the top of the order due up. If your voice is hoarse from singing, that's because you were just coming back from the 7th inning stretch and take me out to the ball game just like we are. 3-0 the Glacier Pilots lead, and that's who comes up to the bats. With Austin Barach, I'm Jesse Cook. Mario Bejarano is on the hill for his 2nd inning of work. And he's got the top of the order to deal with. And Elijah Rodriguez, Will Bermudez, and Blake Jackson, all lefties just like Bejarano. First pitch, called a strike low and away. Rodriguez is 0 for 2. He walked and scored in the 3rd inning. 0-1 pitch. Backdoor curveball called a strike low and away. He scored on an error at third base. when he tried to take third. The 0-2 swung on and fouled over the left side bench. In that play, Blake Jackson doubled. Rodriguez tried to advance. The 0-2, he swings and fouls off another to the left side. Bejarano quick pitching, less than 15 seconds between every pitch. The Matsu lefty winds and deals. The 0-2. He swings and fouls it off to the left side again. Bejarano has tried a low and outside pitch on all 5 attempts. They've all been within the strike zone or at least hittable pitches, but the last 3 have been fouled off. Again, the 0-2. Front door fastball missed high and in. One, two. Swings, ropes up the middle to short. Barreras leaps and makes the grab. On the shallow outfield grass, he hopped a foot in the air and got it.
This might be a sign of me getting old or thinking of getting old, but my first instinct on that jump is his back okay. He landed on his right leg, put all the weight there on that lower back. That's a classic thing that basketball players do if they hurt their back. So right now he seems fine, but I'm just a little worried myself.
Here's Will Bermudez, first pitch. He takes a strike lone away. He's batting from the right side, so he's a switch hitter. He led off today batting from the left against right-handed Brandon Downer. The 0-1, back to a curveball called a strike. And you're right to worry about Barreras and his back, because that's what was ailing him this past week when he was out with an injury. The 0-2 pitch, swings and lines it foul off to the right side. So Bejarano is having trouble with that put-away pitch. Rodriguez had 3 two-strike foul balls. There's one for Bermudez. Again, the 0-2. He swings, rips it up the middle. Tucker fields it on the shallow outfield grass on the hop. Fires on to first, and he got him. Two up, 2 down here in the bottom of the 7th inning. That brings up Blake Jackson. He's been a problem. 1 for 2 with an RBI single in this game. He walked last time up as well. And that single brought home the first run of the game for the Glacier Pilots. Also brought around Elijah Rodriguez after an error in the field. Lefty-lefty matchup. First pitch. Low and away. Checks a swing, and the third base umpire says he went around, so that's strike 1. Bejarano sets again. The 0-1 pitch. Swung on, lifted into shallow left field. That's down for a base hit. It one-hops Vergara, who fields it and throws it back to the infield. Jackson has his second single of the day, and there's 1 on with 2 away for the cleanup hitter, Troy Harding, who's 1 for 3.
You know what? Not a hot take. You can see how Blake Jackson is running away with the batting title with hits like that going the opposite field.
Yeah, I mean, to stay above 400, you need to average 2 hits per game most of the time. Because if your team is hitting like the Glacier Pilots are, you'll come up to the plate 4 or 5 times every outing. First pitch to the righty, Harding. That misses low for a ball. Pardon me.
Your pardon.
He singled to lead off the 2nd inning, then grounded out to short and struck out swinging. Runner on first, 2 away. The 1-0. Fastball high and away, called a strike. The Glacier Pilots lead 3-0. Only one of those runs came about in a normal fashion, and it was the first part of that single for Blake Jackson. The 1-1, he swings, nicks it up the middle into center field. That's down for a hit. Going for third is Jackson. He's in without a throw. Anchorage puts runners on the corners with 2 away. That brings up Andrew Lamb, who's 2 for 3 with a single and a double.
Harding just muscled that one in between Barreras and Tucker. Another one of those infield-ish hits that just finds space. The Pilots have had several of those, 3 or 4 this afternoon.
Well, it reminds you of that 6th inning when the first 2 hits both came around on just in-betweeners. Weird balls with weird spirals. Here's Andrew Lamb, first pitch to the lefty. Called a strike, low and away. He had that first hit last inning, put it right between third baseman Hannes and shortstop Barreras, a softly hit ball, and Nathan Barraza, who's on deck, cut one on the infield dirt between Cooper Vest and Nolan Tucker. 0-1. Lazy swing behind the curveball, low and away for strike 2. Bejarano, with runners on the corners, is 1 strike away from escaping this inning without a run. 3-0 Glacier Pilots, bottom of the 7th, 2 away. 0-2 the count. He deals from the stretch. Swung on and popped up foul out of play off to the left side. Bejarano's 0-2. Front door curveball swung on and foul tip to the backstop. 3 batters have brought it to a 2-strike count this inning. All of them have fouled off at least 1 pitch with 2 strikes. That's the 6th 2-strike foul ball for a Glacier Pilot in this inning. Bejarano is really struggling with his put-away pitch. Jackson on third, Harding on first, 2 away. The pitch, runner off for second, swings and fouls it to the backstop again. Now might be the time for Bejarano to try his fastball above the belt and get him to chase.
That would certainly be a good idea. And a pitch in the dirt with a catcher who's caught so many innings these last 36 hours could be troublesome.
0-2, runner off for second, he swings, pitter patters it to first. Vest dives on it, pounces on the ball, runs over to first, and he got him. Cooper Vest with an athletic play to record that final out of the 7th, and the Glacier Pilots threaten but don't score. 2 hits in that frame, no runs. We move on to the 8th inning, 3-0 home crew. The Miner is in dire need of a run with the 2-3-4 hitters due up. Shadowed underneath, some royal blue clouds and the sun peeking in over the right field foul pole. It's Matsu Miners baseball on the road at the Anchorage Glacier Pilots. With Austin Barach, I'm Jesse Cook. The home crew leads 3-0, and those runs came about in unconventional fashion. Blake Jackson had an RBI single back in the 3rd inning that brought around Andrew Nikolic from third base, but Elijah Rodriguez then scored on the same play on a throwing error, trying to nab Jackson going for second, and that 3rd run scored for the Glacier Pilots in the 6th inning after Joey Wright singled to the first baseman Cooper Vest. Mario Bejarano never covered the bag, so he had nowhere to go, and the run scored going home. Ty Atkins, the lefty, still on the hill for the Glacier Pilots. He wheels a sidearm delivery. He's got the 2-3-4 hitters in Cooper Vest, Alex Vergara, and Steven Lancia, and combined, they are just 1 for 8. Vest has that 1, and it came in his last at-bat, an infield hit to the shortstop. Lefty-lefty matchup. First pitch on the way. He swings, cuts it out to second base. Bermudez charges, picks it up, fires onto the bag, and he got him by 2 steps. A 1 pitch out to begin the 8th inning. And Matsu has really been struggling at the plate. The Glacier Pilots have done a good job of keeping the pitch count low in innings. Only 1 frame has seen more than 20 pitches thrown by a Glacier Pilot's arm, and that was the 3rd.
And with the stuff that Atkins has, though, with the way that this umpire has called pitches with 2 strikes, why not swing early in the count?
To the knees, but it's been more than a ball with inside and outside of the dish. 0-1. Vergara swings on a looping curveball and foul tips it to the backstop. 0-2 count. This has not been AV's day. 0 for 3, a pop out into foul ground to first base, a fly out to left, and a fielder's choice to end the fifth. He was ABL MVP last season. He hit a grand slam earlier this week, but this has just not been it for him. The 0-2. Misses inside, hits him on the knee. Vergara danced out of the way. He's making no attempt to go to first. It looked like it clipped him, but he's staying at the plate.
Yeah, I thought it hit him as well.
That's odd. The home plate umpire asked him if it got him. Vergara first nodded and then shook his head afterwards. So no, it didn't hit him, even though it made the sound like it did.
Right.
1-2 count, the pitch. He swings and foul tips it to the backstop again. Anyone else, you might say, just take your base, but while this hasn't been Alex Vergara's day, he's had a flair for the dramatic. He came in as a pinch hitter on Thursday against the Chinooks with Matsu trailing, earned a walk, and used his baseball ingenuity to score an insurance run for Matsu. 1-2 pitch. Waits on a fastball low and away, ball 2.
He's also got a home run pop, so he can trade in a hit by pitch for a home run. Again, it's silly to say, but if anybody has the right to say it on this team, it's Alex Vergara.
That's right, he's tied for the league lead in dingers with 3. 2-2 count, Atkins settles, pitching from the stretch. He wheels. Vergara swings and misses behind the fastball low and away. 2 up, 2 down in the 8th inning. Matsu has overcome 3 separate deficits of 3 runs or more to these Glacier Pilots, but now we're counting down to that final out. 4 away from a Glacier Pilots win, and Anchorage entering first place over Matsu. Steven Lancia comes up to the plate. He's 0 for 2 with a strikeout, a walk, and a flyout. He's in that batting race, but distantly in second. First pitch to the righty catcher. He waits on a fastball at the socks for a ball. Blake Jackson started this day with a .457 average. He's out in center field for these Glacier Pilots. Lancia started the afternoon with a .397 clip. 1-0. He swings, dribbles it up the middle. Off the glove of Atkins. It splinters out to second. Bermudez picks up, fires on the run, and he got him! A rare 1-4-3. Atkins tried to field the ball behind his back. He tipped it out to second base. Bermudez stutter stepped, jolted back in, picked up the ball, and lobbed it on to first with not too much time to spare. Matsu goes down 1-2-3 for the second time in 3 frames, the 4th time today. We move on to the bottom of the 8th. The Glacier Pilots are cruising up 3-0. Barach, I'm Jesse Cook. There's a new pitcher on the hill for Matsu, not just new to this game, but new to the ABL. Replacing Mario Bejarano is Matthew Lighthall. The righty comes out of South Mountain Community College. He came to the team earlier this week. He replaces Bejarano after 2 3-hit innings with no earned runs, no walks. Bejarano also failed to record a strikeout. Whitehall is 6'4". He's a rising sophomore that weighs 170 pounds. He throws and hits right-handed. He appeared in 7 games this past season for South Mountain, pitched 10 innings, allowed 10 hits, 11 runs, 10 of which were earned, also 11 walks and 13 Ks, including a home run as well. He's got the 6-7-8 hitters for the Glacier Pilots, who are fighting for first place. Barraza, Stinson, Nicoluk due up. Righty-righty matchup to lead off this frame. And here's Whitehall's first pitch in the ABL. Swung on and popped up, foul ground, first base side, and out of play. So he gets a strike to open up his Alaska career. 0-1 the count now for Barraza. The tall righty nods. Into the windup he goes. The 0-1 squares to bunt, but pulls back as that pitch misses low and away. The Miners sit one game ahead of the Glacier Pilots for first place in the ABL. This is a game for the top spot. The 1-1. He swings and drills it to deep left center field. A lot of air under it, but Alex Vergara says he has time and room. He makes the grab about 20 steps in front of the wall. So Nathan Barraza, who has already homered against Matsu, put a charge into that ball, and it looked like it had the momentum, but Alex Vergara, sure of himself in left field, makes the easy grab. One away, and that brings up Jacob Stinson, who's 0 for 2, as well as a sacrifice bunt.
Certainly sounded like a home run type of pop, but stayed in the yard, died in the outfield.
First pitch to the lefty. He waits on a fastball low and away. Good awakening for Lighthall about the competition up here. He said he was ready for it. He said it's something that he's always wanted to do, play summer ball, and where else? Where better? The 1-0. He swings and drives it left side and foul. And it's funny, Lighthall said he came here on 2 days' notice.
Yeah, he just wanted to play. A lot of players like to train with velocity in warehouses. He wanted to play ball.
The 1-1 pitch. Swung on, dribbled down the first base line, and foul. That's right, that was part of the problem in finding a pitcher for Matsu, but Lighthall said he was all in for it. His coach called him. The next day, he had a flight booked.
There you go. You get to play with Matsu Miners, a first-place team, a great organization, and a team competing for another championship.
Who's going to say no to the 8-time Alaska champions? The 1-2. This is high and in. Matsu, of course, fighting for its 9th title this season. The Glacier Pilots dethroned them last year. Beat them in the championship round. 2-2 pitch. This is low and away.
The last 3 champions have been all Glacier Pilots.
That's right. Catcher Steven Lancia for Matsu was a part of the team last year, and he said he felt a chip on his shoulder to come back and beat the Glacier Pilots. Full count pitch on the way. Swings, drives it to straightaway center field, moving over towards left center. Alex Vergara calls off Tomerlin and makes the grab. Again, midway through the outfield grass. That brings up Andrew Nicoluk. He singled back in the 3rd inning, lined out to second in the 4th, and grounded into a fielder's choice in the 6th. He was retired in that peculiar 3-2 to 5-3 play at the plate. First pitch to the righty. This is low and inside. It, of course, happened when Joey Wright singled to first base. Bejarano didn't cover the bag. So Vest then threw home after 1 run had already scored. The 1-0. Fastball in the turf. 2-0 count. Nicoluk then tried to extend from 3rd to home. He got caught in a pickle and tagged out. 2-0. Swings and dribbles it 3rd base side and foul. Count is 2-1 for Nicoluk. Lighthall takes a moment behind the rubber, resets. Alex Vergara had to go retrieve the stray foul ball as it climbed back onto the outfield grass. And that's grass in the outfield, unlike the turf infield. 2-1 pitch. Nicoluk swings and pops it up behind first base. Foul ground. Vest backtracking, looking over his shoulder towards the fence, and he reaches up and makes the grab against the wall. Cooper Vest in foul ground had to find that ball in a hodgepodge of misty gray-white clouds. He searched for it, caught it with his Batman searchlight, and made the play. Matsu is up for the last time in regulation play, and they're in need of 3 runs. Due up to try to save the day is Carpenter, Rogers, and Tomerlin, the 5, 6, 7 hitters. Ty Atkins will remain on the hill for Anchorage, and now it's crunch time. Matsu is running out of time against Anchorage in this battle for first place. The Glacier Pilots lead 3-0 on their home turf entering the top of the 9th inning. With Austin Barach, I'm Jesse Cook. Ty Atkins remains on the hill. The lefty sidearm pitcher out of Hawaii has not allowed a hit in his 3 innings of work. He's got Caden Carpenter, Braden Rogers, and Sebastian Tomerlin, the 5-6-7 hitters, due up as Matsu tries to save its spot in first place. The Miners stand a game ahead of the Glacier Pilots. They're tied in the season series, so a win for Anchorage would flip-flop that and put them back in first. Lefty-lefty matchup. First pitch to the Utah player. Carpenter watches a fastball low and away. He's hitless today, 0 for 2 with a walk. He struck out in the 2nd inning. Matsu has strung together just 3 hits on the afternoon.
And none against Atkins.
The 1-0. He swings, dribbles it down the first base side. Barraza fields it on the hop and chugs on to first for the out. Matsu has 2 outs left to try and score 3 runs. Braden Rogers is up to try and incite the rally. He's had a rough go of it, 0 for 3 with 2 strikeouts and a pop-out to first base. Matsu entered first place 6 days ago against the Anchorage Bucks, who share Mulcahy Stadium with these Glacier Pilots. They beat them by 8 runs. First pitch to the righty. Rogers swings, drives it to short. Right fields it on the hop, throws on to first. A high pitch, but Barraza's tall enough. 2 up, 2 down, and the Miners are down to their final out here in Anchorage. It's up to Sebastian Tomerlin, Rogers' teammate at Central Arizona Community College, to try and keep this game going.
The Pilots, this is their first game since Friday. They have 4 days rest, similar to when the Miners had 4 days off. Bunch of rainouts and scheduled off days.
Glacier Pilots scored 2 runs in the 3rd and 1 in the 6th. First pitch to the lefty Tomerlin. He waits on a fastball inside and low. The last time these teams met at Mulcahy Stadium, or rather, last time these teams met with first place up in the air, Matsu ahead and Anchorage behind, the Glacier Pilots ended up winning and overtaking the Miners for the top spot. The 1-0, Tomerlin swings and dribbles it to second base. Bermudez fields it and tosses on to first. That's the game. The Glacier Pilots win 3-0. Ty Atkins goes 4 scoreless, hitless innings to secure first place for the hometown crew. Matsu struggles with just 3 hits. The Miners go down 1-2-3 in 5 separate innings in this game, and that's what does it. They stranded the bases loaded back in the 3rd, left 2 runners on in the 4th, and then 1 runner on base in both the 5th and the 7th inning. If any of those runners come around from scoring position, then Matsu has a better go of it. They left 2 runners in scoring position in the 3rd, 1 in the 4th, and then 1 in the 7th. That's 4 runners left in scoring position in a game that the Miners lost 3-0.
You got the big hinge moments of this game. The top of the 3rd and the top of the 4th. In the top of the 3rd, Tomlin singled, Barrera singled. Then Caleb Hanna struck out looking. Then Nolan Tucker walked. So the bases were loaded with 1 out. Then Cooper Vest struck out swinging, and Alex Vergara flied out to left field. So you strand the bases loaded with 1 out. Then in the 4th, the first 2 batters are in walks, Lancia and Carpenter. Then Braden Rogers strikes out swinging, Tomlin pops up to 2nd, and Barreras pops up to 3rd. Those were the 5 big runners left on base stats and situations right there in the 3rd and 4th innings. And then after 5 innings from Ceneseros, the starter, they give the ball to the lefty, Ty Atkins. He's been money all season, and boy, was he good today. 4 innings, as you mentioned, Jesse. 4 hitless, scoreless innings as well. No walks either. Nobody reached base against Ty Atkins.
Well, one player did off of an error.
Yes.
Sebastian Tomerlin reached on an error in the 7th inning and stole second, but nobody ever brought him around. Atkins struck out 2 in that 7th frame, added 1 in the 8th. 3 strikeouts, 4 innings. He's the real story. Aaron Ceneseros was great to open up the game. He threw 5 shutout innings, allowed just 3 hits and struck out 6. But this score is vastly different if Ty Atkins can't perform as well as he did. Near perfection from him. If it weren't for that error, it would have been 4 perfect innings of relief. and he just got a big cheer from his team as they're standing out beyond first base, recapping the game. They gave him their Best Player award with a cheer like that. The Glacier Pilots win 3-0 on a Tuesday evening and overtake the Miners for first place in the ABL. Matsu, never fear, the Miners are back in action tomorrow, not to mention that first place is solely a battle between these two teams. The Anchorage Bucks played the Chugiak Eagle River Chinooks today, and they're down 9-2 in the 5th inning, so that third place team will be back by 2 games in the standings. And that's how we leave it. 3-0 Glacier Pilots on a Tuesday evening. First place has flip-flopped back to Anchorage. We'll be back tomorrow in the Valley. Thank you for watching. For Austin Barach, I'm Jesse Cook. Have a great rest of your evening.